Good morning. We have another day of amazing interviews with amazing authors from our amazing book. I'm Corey Walmsley, the CEO of Aurora Borealis Publishing, and today we are interviewing, well, this morning we are interviewing Racquelle Pakutz from the book Unleashing Your Soul Level Magic. And this is a beautiful collection of stories from 12 women. 10 of them are from the Pittsburgh area. And they're all sharing about how they've overcome a big challenge using something that was maybe a little unexpected from themselves. And then that was something that they ended up growing and using because it was an innate gift. So I'm going to turn it over to Racquelle for a minute, let her tell you a little bit about herself and what she does.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Corey. I am just overjoyed to be a part of this amazing collection of stories and to be here with you today. So thank you. I'm Racquelle Pakutz, president of Zen Freight Solutions. We do third-party transportation management all across the United States and Canada. I also am known on Facebook as your healthy, happy hiker, where I share just the daily life of being an entrepreneur and going through being a parent, just life in general. And I try to share inspiration there. My story started a while ago here, really back in 2018, where I started to have some health issues, and they really opened my eyes to realizing that I was the only one that could change my life. And I think that's the biggest point I want to get across to everyone, is that it's taking that personal responsibility and really digging deep and saying, okay, what is it that I can do at this point in my life?
And I love how you share that in your story. I think it's really interesting that a lot of times it does take a health challenge for us to go, okay, clearly something's going on here. And I think that's pretty common too.
It is. And it's unfortunate because who wants to be at the rock bottom before they make a change?
Yeah.
But so for those of who don't know or haven't read the book yet, I was 198 pounds, felt awful, dealing with mental health issues, challenged every single day to get out of bed and really to drag myself into work. But through realizing that I could learn and reaching out on YouTube, on Spotify, and just listening into other coaches, other thought leaders, I was able to really start to find areas of my life that I could start to improve and change. And with one little step, I could change one thing, and then it led to the next. And here we are in 2023. I now have a personal trainer I work with twice a week, and I am holding steady at a healthy weight. And I feel stronger than I ever have before, which is fantastic, because that feeling of weakness is one that I don't wish upon anyone. It feels like everything's too much to handle. So now that I've got all this support in my life, I can really feel like I can tackle the world and help others to do the same.
I love that. First of all, that realization, all of that is just beautiful. But I love that your story involves a lot of listening. Because we are constantly rushing and there's just noise. And what it took was for you listening to your body, and then taking that a step further and listening to other people who've had experiences that you haven't had. And, then even further to just listening in silence, I think, as we'll talk about happy, healthy hiker in a little bit, but it's a whole lot of listening that really made a big difference in your life.
It really is. I think a lot of people that come from a struggled background or a traumatic childhood kind of get on this fast-paced go, because slowing down means you have to feel those feelings. And so once I turned 30, my body was like, wait a minute, we have to slow down right now. And it forced me. And I'm thankful, because now I can share and guide others to happiness and healthiness in their lives too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, when we go through an experience like that, it's not just our story, it is our story to share and
Yes.
inspire others, as others have inspired us. So wonderful. And by the way, your husband is on and he says, so proud of you, Racquelle.
Oh, he's the best, the number one supporter, and I could not do this without him.
Oh, that's so wonderful. We were actually talking about another one of the authors and her husband and how supportive he is too. And I think it's really wonderful, to have a supportive spouse or to have, supportive friends and all of those kind of things in our lives.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I started this journey, I felt disconnected from everyone, including myself. I didn't know the support that I had around me. And I think that was one of the things over the past few years that I've really leaned into, was realizing I have a great network of amazing people that support me. And I love them all. And I'm super grateful for every single one of them. Sorry.
That's okay. We were also crying yesterday, so that's what happens. So I did want to ask you, knowing what your story is, what was it that inspired you to share your story with the Unleashing book?
Well, really, I just have this internal drive telling me I must share. And every time I talk to somebody, their jaw drops. They're like, you were how heavy, you were where, and now you're there. Like, how did you go from being a corporate employee to now running your own business and growing it and being, in Forbes magazine and all of these amazing things? And it all comes down to a choice, and that choice to really dig into yourself. And I just feel like everyone has that inside of them, and they just need a cheerleader or a push and somebody to inspire them to listen to it. So when the opportunity came up, I jumped immediately. There was no second guessing it. I was all in on joining you on this journey.
Well, I'm so glad you decided to do that, because you do have such an interesting, amazing story. And so you were talking about like digging into yourself and, exploring that. Can you talk a little bit more about that for those people who might be like, what the hell is she talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're at a crossroads or at a point in your life that you're not happy, it really means that you should take some time and just sit and ask yourself, okay, what if I wasn't here, right? What if I could change things? Don't think about all the things stopping you, because those easily come up. But if you can set those aside and just focus on dreaming and hoping and what that would look like, you start to form a vision, and through that you can really, work backwards at creating a plan for yourself, and really taking time to sit and journal if you can daily. I can't say that I do, life is busy, but as often as you can, it really helps you to see the thoughts that are in your head that you may not have even realized how you were speaking to yourself. I used to have a really negative self-talk, like awful things that I wouldn't say to my worst enemy, where I was saying to myself each morning. And then I wondered why I felt like poo by noon, So now I get up and start each morning with a prayer and gratitude, and reviewing who I'm grateful for that's here in my life, and just for being here another day. And that really sets the stage for a better day. And then if I'm really not feeling it, I throw on a podcast or a book that I need for some inspiration to help get me to that next level.
I love it. And I love that you did mention books too, because I know some people are not into podcasts. Some people would rather grab a book or, just listen to some peaceful music or whatever. And that kind of stuff can change your mood too. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I have to force myself to do this, right?
Oh, no. There's one, like morning affirmations. There's a guy called Bob Baker out on YouTube, and he has like music behind him, and sometimes he makes them into fun songs. It sounds cheesy, but I love it. I feel like sometimes that's just what you need in the morning to just change your mood a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it does need to be like something fun and perky, and find what works for you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Um, so we have a couple comments. I wanted to let you know, Kelly is watching and she says, your transparency is so refreshing, Raquel. I'm so lucky to have you in my life.
Oh, I love Kelly. Thank you.
Kelly's a sweetheart. Um, so I want to ask you too. So we're talking about podcasts and books and affirmations, and tell me about Happy Healthy Hiker and how that kind of came about and what that does.
Yeah. So really whenever I had hit my rock bottom and started my transformational journey, I found that walking outside connected me to nature, and it really opened my eyes, because for 10 years I was working in an office and didn't really pay attention to the natural world around me. So through that I was like, wait, hiking makes me happy. Okay, let's figure this out. And so Healthy Happy Hiker came out. And this was just a place originally for me to share what I was seeing on my walks, such as like right now, the buds on the trees, or any kind of little bug or bird that I see, because it's the sign of spring, and everybody wants to see spring come here in Western Pennsylvania in the middle of March.
Yeah, it's kind of brown here if you aren't here.
Yeah, it's cold and rainy or snowy. It's just yeah, we're ready for spring. But through that I started to share, and then I found inspiration and shared that, and I really got other people then supporting me and checking in on me and showing me their love, and it really just organically grew into this network. I think I have about 600 followers now. I know that's not insane, but it's not nothing. And I share my travels across the country when we go hiking there as well, just to share that, hiking is everywhere. It's just a matter of getting outside and connecting with nature and really slowing down. And that's what I love so much. And I just want to share that with the world.
I love that. And I understand too what it's like to be be in that office and just be like, okay, what does it even look like? Is the sun out? I used to do the same sort of thing. Like, we didn't have a hiking trail near where I worked, but I would go outside and just be like, oh, there's air, there's sunshine, like I can see trees. Okay. And I would go like walk a couple laps around the building and go back in. And it's amazing how that just changes how you feel.
Absolutely. There's healing in nature, and it's just, I'm not going to define it in any sort of way. I can just say that you go outside, take a big breath of fresh air, and you feel better.
Yes.
You can't deny it.
Yeah, 100% on that. So you've been through this transformation. There's a lot going on. We've talked about all the different things that you've done to help you heal and help you feel better. And what is it that you would want to tell people who are sitting there going, okay, she's changed, and I want to change. How am I getting from point A to point B? And is it going to take 3 weeks, or how is this going to work?
Oh, patience with yourself is a virtue. It's one of the biggest lessons of my life, I think. Transformation does not happen easily or quickly at all. But you can make the choice in any moment to make a change. So as soon as you feel that inspiration, write down 3 things that you're going to do to make it towards that. That way you start to take action. One of the biggest things that I repeat in my head is from Tony Robbins, and that's: the best revenge is massive success. And so the only way you can get to massive success is by taking massive action. So really just realize, once you have that spark or that motivation to change, write down what your next steps are, what it is that you can do, and then try to do them every day. The next thing is really build a support system around you. See who you can reach out to, who can help inspire you or bring you up when you're having a bad time or a hard time, and lean on them, because it's hard. It's hard to go through this life alone, and we're never alone. There are people around us. You have friends on Facebook, you have families and neighbors, and they do care about you, whether you realize it or not. You just have to be ready to, I guess, ask, and be brave enough to ask for that help. And that is a superpower. So just remember that it's a superpower to be able to ask for help.
Yeah, I know it is very tough to ask, but you have to ask.
It is. I still struggle with it on a regular basis, but that's a part of the journey, part of the transformational journey.
Absolutely. So what is it that you hope that your story, what impact do you hope that your story will have on everybody who reads it in unleashing your soul of magic?
I really hope that it shows that you can change at any moment. And whether you feel like total crap because your body doesn't feel well and you just don't have the motivation to do anything, if you're in that mental place of wanting to give up, I hope that my story can give you some inspiration to not give up and to keep going. Maybe even reach out to me. I will gladly talk to anyone and help them through a difficult time. I've been there, and I understand how awful it is to wake up and just feel like you don't even want to go into your life. So know that you don't have to live that way, that you can change it. And there's a lot of people out there that want to help and support you to do so.
I love it. I did want to ask one final question. So you went very deep into a lot of your feelings that maybe we're not so proud of having, that we don't always admit to people, like I hated myself, I felt like garbage, all of these things. You went very deep into that, and that was a really, as Kelly said, it was very refreshing in your chapter to see that you were very much like, this is who I was, and you've probably been there too, and that's okay. What would you tell someone else who's kind of been there, and they've gotten through it and they want to write about that too?
Do it. Just write. Just get your story out there, because everyone's story is personal and also relatable to everyone else. And no matter how it sounds on your first draft or your second draft, you can redefine it, but you can't do anything unless you start to write it down and share it. So if you have a story in there, put it out there. It's the best thing. It'll connect you with others and help you to learn more about yourself in that process.
Yeah, I think that's important too, learning more about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Racquelle, for joining me this morning. Of course, if anyone else has questions for me or for Racquelle, please drop them below. We are still running our special on our book. So yesterday we actually hit #1 new release. Yay! So we're very excited about that. And to celebrate that, we're just going to keep the sale going today. So, and today is March 17th. If you're watching this later, you might have missed the sale. So today we are offering the ebook for just 99 cents on Amazon. I will drop the link below. And Racquelle, tell everyone where they can find you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Corey. If you're looking to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can find me at Racquelle Pakutz. And you can also come to my website, stressfreeshipping.us, and on Facebook, Racquelle Pakutz or Healthy Happy Hiker.
Awesome. And you can drop those links below, and that way everybody can connect with you. So thank you to everybody who watched, and I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy our book. And I hope that, maybe the sun's shining where you are, because it's not.
Yes. Thank you all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.